Harry, can I ask you something?
Of course. What's on your mind?
Have you ever said a sentence in English that was grammatically correct, but people still looked a little surprised?
Oh, yes. A few weeks ago, I asked a hotel receptionist, "Can you help me with my luggage?" She smiled and helped me, but later my friend said, "You could sound a little more polite."
That's a situation many English learners experience. The grammar isn't wrong, but the choice between can and could changes how your sentence feels.
I used to think could was only the past of can. Then I started hearing people say, "Could you open the door?" They weren't talking about the past at all.
Exactly. That's why these two small words confuse so many learners.
And the funny thing is, native speakers use them every single day.
Let's ask everyone listening a quick question. Imagine you're asking a stranger for directions. Which sounds more natural? Can you help me? Or could you help me? Think about your answer.
Don't worry if you're not sure. By the end of today's episode, you'll know exactly when to use can and when could is the better choice.
We'll learn through real conversations, short stories, and practical examples you can use today.
And remember, you're part of this conversation too. Whenever we ask a question, pause the podcast and answer aloud.
Great! Let's begin with the easiest use of can and could, talking about ability. Harry, let's start with a simple question. Can you ride a bicycle?
Yes, I can. I ride one almost every weekend.
Perfect. That sentence is about your ability now. When we talk about something we can do today, we usually use can.
So I can say, I can cook, I can swim, I can speak English.
Exactly. Those all describe present ability.
That's easy enough. But where does could fit in?
Let's talk about the past. Harry, could you ride a bicycle when you were 5 years old?
No, I couldn't. I kept falling over, and my parents had to help me.
And that's the key difference. Could often talks about an ability you had or didn't have in the past.
So today I can ride a bicycle, but when I was 5, I couldn't.
Exactly right.
Let me try another one. Today I can cook a simple meal. When I was a child, I could only make toast.
That's a good example. You had a limited ability then, but you've improved over time.
I hope so. My family certainly thinks my cooking is better now.
Let's give our listeners a quick speaking challenge. Finish this sentence aloud. I can. Choose something you can do today. Now say, when I was younger, I could. Take your time.
I hope everyone answered. Speaking aloud really helps.
It does. Now, here's a common mistake. Some learners say, yesterday I can play football. That doesn't sound natural.
Because yesterday is in the past.
Exactly. A better sentence is, yesterday I could play football because my leg felt better.
Here's another one. When I was 10, I could run very fast.
Perfect. Now, compare these two sentences. I can lift this box. I could lift heavier boxes when I was younger. The first is about your ability now. The second is about your ability in the past.
That's much clearer. I just need to ask myself one question. Am I talking about now or the past?
Exactly. If it's about your present ability, can is usually the answer. If it's about a past ability, could is often the right choice.
So far, this feels simple.
It does. But now we're moving to the part that confuses many learners. Sometimes, could has nothing to do with the past.
Really? Then why do people use it?
To sound more polite, and that's something you'll hear every day in cafes, hotels, offices, and airports. Harry, imagine we're in a coffee shop. I want you to pass me the sugar. What would you say?
I'd probably say, "Can you pass me the sugar?"
That's grammatically correct, and most people will understand you. But listen to this. Could you pass me the sugar, please? Which one sounds a little more polite?
Definitely the second one.
Exactly. In many everyday situations, could makes a request sound softer and more courteous.
So people don't use could because they're talking about the past. They use it because they're being polite.
That's right. It's one of the biggest surprises for English learners.
Let's try a few examples. Can you open the window? Could you open the window? Both are correct, but the second sounds friendlier.
Perfect. Here's another one. Can you help me with this report? Could you help me with this report? Again, both work, but if you're speaking to your manager, a customer, or someone you don't know well, could is usually the better choice.
So if I'm talking to my best friend, can you help me? Sounds completely natural.
Exactly. The relationship matters. Let's listen to a quick role play. Excuse me, could you tell me where platform 4 is?
Couldy. Walk straight ahead, then turn left. You'll see it beside the ticket office.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great trip.
Did you notice that conversation?
Yes, it sounded very natural and polite.
Now, let's change just one sentence. Excuse me, can you tell me where platform 4 is?
That still sounds fine.
It does. Native speakers use both forms every day. The difference isn't about right or wrong, it's about the level of politeness.
So can is more direct, and could is a little softer.
Exactly. Now it's your turn. Imagine you're in a hotel. You need an extra towel. Which sentence would you choose? I need another towel. Can you bring me another towel? Or, could you bring me another towel, please?
I hope everyone chose the third one.
Me too. It's polite, natural, and something you'll hear in real life. Here's another common mistake. Some learners think they should always use could because it's more polite, but that's not true.
Really?
Yes. Imagine you're playing football with a close friend. You can simply say, "Can you pass the ball?" Using could isn't wrong, but it may sound more formal than the situation needs.
So I should match my words to the situation.
Exactly. Friends, classmates, brothers, and sisters often use can because the conversation is relaxed. When you're speaking to a stranger, a customer, a teacher, a hotel employee, or someone in a professional setting, could often sounds more natural.
That's a simple rule I can remember.
Great. So here's the idea. Use can for everyday, casual requests. Use could when you want to sound a little more polite or respectful. You don't need to memorize long grammar rules. Just think about the person you're speaking to.
I already feel more confident using these two little words.
That's wonderful. because we're about to discover another use that many learners mix up. Sometimes we use can and could to ask for permission, and that's slightly different from making a request. So far, we've used can and could to talk about ability and to make requests. Now, let's look at another everyday situation, asking for permission.
Is that when we ask, can I?
Exactly. Imagine you're in a cafe. You might ask, can I sit here? That's a completely natural question.
What if I say, could I sit here?
That's also correct. It simply sounds a little more polite or formal.
So just like requests, both are correct. The difference is the level of politeness.
Exactly. Let's hear a few more real-life examples.
Can I borrow your pen?
Sure, here you go.
Could I borrow your pen for a minute?
Of course.
Both conversations sound natural.
They do, but if you're speaking to your teacher, your manager, or someone you've just met, could I often sounds more respectful.
Let's try another situation. I'm at the airport. I want to charge my phone. I could ask, could I use this charger for a few minutes?
That's an excellent example. It's polite and friendly. Now, imagine you're at home with your brother. You'd probably just say, can I use your charger?
That feels much more natural between family members.
Exactly. English isn't only about grammar. It's also about choosing words that fit the situation.
Let's give everyone a quick challenge. You're in a library and you want to open the window. Which sounds better? Can I open the window? Or could I open the window?
Both are correct, but many native speakers would choose could I open the window because it's a shared public space.
So here's an easy tip. Use can I in casual situations. Use could I when you want to sound extra polite.
Perfect. If you remember that one idea, you'll already sound more natural in many everyday conversations.
We've covered ability, requests, and permission.
And next, we'll look at another useful meaning of could, talking about possibility, like it could rain later. That's a use many learners hear every day, but don't always understand. Harry, we've learned that can and could talk about ability, requests, and permission. But could has another very common use.
Really? What's that?
We use could to talk about possibility. For example, it could rain this evening.
So I'm not saying it will rain. I'm saying it's possible.
Exactly. Maybe it will rain and maybe it won't. Here are a few more examples. She could be at home. We could miss the train if we leave late. This plan could work.
I hear those expressions all the time in movies.
That's because native speakers use could very often when they're not completely sure.
What about can? Can I say, it can rain this evening?
That's a great question. In everyday conversation, native speakers usually say, it could rain this evening. It sounds much more natural when talking about a possible future event.
So if I'm guessing or talking about a possibility, could is usually the better choice.
Exactly. Now, let's look at some common mistakes.
Mistake number 1. I can swim when I was 6.
The correct sentence is, I could swim when I was 6, because you're talking about the past.
Mistake number 2. Could you help me? Means past.
No. In this sentence, could is simply making the request more polite.
Mistake number 3. Can I borrow your phone, please?
That's completely correct. Some learners think they must always say, could I? But can I is very common in casual conversations.
Mistake number 4. I can speak English now.
If you mean today, say, I can speak English now.
Here's a quick review. Can, ability now, casual requests, casual permission. Could, past ability, polite requests, polite permission, possibility.
That's an excellent summary. Let's give everyone one last speaking challenge before we finish. I'll read a situation, and you choose can or could. Ready? You were able to ride a bike when you were 8. The answer is, I could ride a bike when I was 8. Next, you want your friend to close the door. You can say, can you close the door? Or, to sound a little more polite, could you close the door? Finally, you think it might snow tomorrow. It could snow tomorrow.
Those examples make everything much easier to remember.
That's the goal. Learn the grammar through real situations instead of memorizing long rules.
And the more you hear these expressions, the more naturally you'll use them.
Exactly. Let's finish with one final conversation that brings everything together. Harry, let's finish today's episode with one realistic conversation. Listen carefully and see how many times you hear can and could.
Excuse me, could you help me for a moment?
Of course. What do you need?
I can't find my boarding gate. Could you tell me where gate 18 is?
Certainly. Go straight ahead, then turn right. You can see the gate next to the coffee shop.
Thank you. Can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
Could I take this bottle of water onto the plane?
Yes, but only if it follows the airport rules. If it's too large, you may need to leave it behind.
I understand. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful trip.
That conversation sounded very natural.
It did. And notice how each modal verb had a different purpose.
Let me see if I remember. Can talked about ability and simple questions. Could made requests more polite and asked for permission.
Exactly. And don't forget one more use.
Right. Could also expresses possibility, like it could rain later.
Perfect. You've got it. Now it's your turn, everyone. Complete these 4 sentences aloud. I can. When I was younger, I could. Could you? It could. If you answered all 4, you've already practiced the most common uses of can and could in everyday English.
That's much better than memorizing grammar rules.
Exactly. Grammar becomes easier when you hear it in real conversations and use it yourself.
My challenge this week is simple. Every day, I'll make one sentence with can and one sentence with could.
That's a fantastic idea. Small, daily practice builds real confidence.
And if you make a mistake?
Don't worry about it. Every mistake is another chance to improve. The goal is communication, not perfection.
We hope today's conversation helped you feel more confident using can and could in real life.
Thanks for spending time with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, tell us in the comments which use of can and could was new for you. We'd love to hear your answer.
Until next time, keep listening, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep enjoying your English journey.
Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.